Yeah, so Jenai, if you could explain, there's a lot of stuff in the news about the NAR settlement. What do buyers really need to know? How does this affect them, and what do they need to know about this settlement?
Yeah, so the NAR settlement actually goes into effect August 17th. So very few things will change. That's kind of what's been a little frustrating for us as realtors. Commissions have always been negotiable. It's an arbitrary number. There's numbers that are used more than others, but always been negotiable. So that hasn't changed. The only real change that I actually like is we've always needed a buyer representation agreement, but it wasn't required for us to show a home. We needed it when we submitted the documents. So many times I would show properties, and the only time I got the buyer rep agreement was when we were actually writing an offer and submitting all our compliance documents. With the NAR settlement, I cannot show a client a home unless they've signed a buyer representation agreement, and it must be the specific home I'm showing them. So every time, if I show them 20 homes, I'm going to need to do 20 buyer rep agreements because it has to be specific to the actual commission being offered on that specific property. In the past, if I did do a buyer rep agreement, I would put, for example, Austin and surrounding area, and then we basically kind of have a blank check to go look at anything. And it was covered. I can't do that. So whenever someone wants to look at homes, they must sign that. Those things are easy to break, so I don't think a potential buyer should get nervous about signing a document because it's going to be specific for the home. If they don't decide to put in an offer on that home, then it's null and void for any other home. But it doesn't lock them into using me unless it's for that home. But if they decide they don't want to work with me, those are very easy to break. It's just a nice tool for establishing what I do for you as a client, and it actually allows me to work more on your behalf from the minute I meet you, because technically when you haven't, the way the law in Texas is written, if you haven't signed a buyer representation agreement and I unlock a door and show you a home, technically I'm working for the seller at that moment in time.
That's a good point.
And so it's really in your best interest every single time to get that buyer rep agreement, because I am at that moment in time, the minute you sign it, I am working for you, the buyer, exclusively, and I can share much more information, and I can give you everything you need to make an informed decision.
That's a good point.